Welcome to the TheSportsStar Podcast 2. Today we are going over 2020 NFL record predictions. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notification button. And visit our website. The link is in the description. So, for the Arizona Cardinals, we have the record projection to be 8-8. They have a good QB and two great weapons around him, DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. I think they'll do a lot of damage, but since they don't have a great running back, I still don't think they're a playoff contender yet. What do you think?
Okay, I disagree slightly. I think they have a good running back in Kenyon Drake. I put him in the top 7 or 8 fantasy running backs. And I feel like their main problem is going to be their defense. I think they're probably going to go 8-8, 9-7 kind of range. And they're going to miss the playoffs, but maybe by like a game or two.
I for sure think they're going to their total of games won is going to increase, but
yeah.
Okay. So for the Atlanta Falcons, I think they're almost done with Matt Ryan, and Julio Jones is getting older. So I think he's 31. So I think they're getting worse by the season. So I think they're going to have a huge downfall this season with a 4-12 record.
Okay, I don't think that the downfall is going to be quite as dramatic as this. I think that they're going to remain in playoff contention for maybe 2 to 3 years, but I don't think they're going to make it anymore with Matt Ryan. Just because, like, their division, Brady's probably going to be around for 2 more years. Drew Brees just signed a 2-year contract. And he knows how long he's going to be around for. So,
yeah,
I don't think they're going to be in contention with Matt Ryan anymore.
So let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens. This team is a high threat in the regular season with Lamar Jackson and all, but they haven't proved themselves in the playoffs with Lamar. I know that he
0-2.
Yeah.
They are officially 0-2 in the playoffs.
So I know that once he finds his rhythm, then they'll be a huge threat, and not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs. And their record last year was 14-2. I think based on their record or who they play this year, I think they'll lose one more game, but I still think they'll be like first or second in the playoffs spot.
Yeah, there's not enough. Yeah, there's very, very little space to go up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's almost guaranteed that they're going to go down because there's just not any space to go up in.
So, the Buffalo Bills, I have faith in the Bills QB position right now. I think the Bills have found their quarterback in Josh Allen and found his insurance, we think right now, in Jake Fromm. So I think this is a one more win season for them. What do you think?
I agree with that. I think I don't think they're going to win the division anymore just because now Cam Newton's in there and they just don't have enough time to like scout him. Like, say he had signed him like back in minicamp. Then maybe they would still be favorites or at least close to favorites. But now they just don't have any time to scout them. So, yeah.
Yeah, so let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have brought up maybe the best backup quarterback last year, other than Ryan Tannehill, obviously, and Teddy Bridgewater, and arguably the best running back in the league with Christian McCaffrey. They're still missing some pieces around them. And I think they're going to lose at least one more game this year. What do you think?
I think that they're going to be in contention with the Falcons for the third place in their division.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I don't think they have any chance to get his first or second just because of the just just because of the competition.
Hmm.
But I definitely think that they might have a winning record.
I I don't know. Yeah. This season is gonna be either a 12-4 season or like a 8-8 season or a 4-12 season. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, with the Chicago Bears, Nick Foles coming in to compete with Mitch Trubisky, in my opinion. Nick Foles will be the start of this season from week 1, unless Trubisky has a huge camp. And I think they just need to find their quarterback, honestly. Like yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, they have enough defense by far. I think they have arguably the best defense.
Yeah.
They have a they ha- if they can find the quarterback, they will have a good enough offense to do it.
Okay, let's hurry on through this. Now we have the Cincinnati Bengals. This was the worst season, or this was the worst team last season, but in my opinion, a great year to be last. They got the Heisman winning QB Joe Burrow in the draft last year. He is going to do a lot for the Bengals with Joe Mixon, but not a playoff contender yet. But I do think they will win at least 4 more games.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think they're gonna have a win record, win 4 to 6 games.
We'll just have to see. With the Cleveland Browns, this will be the season that decides Baker Mayfield's career if he doesn't continue to start or if he doesn't continue to up his game. And we know that he can't play well with players like Odell Beckham, Landry, and Myles Garrett on defense, although he got suspended last year. But I do think they will win a few more games now that they've played a season with those players. I'd say like 9-7.
Okay, I feel like the reason why I'm more excited for the Buccaneers this year than I was for the Browns last year. I'm more optimistic about it. Is because last year the Browns had a first-year head coach who had 1 year of offensive coordinator preference. See, I think they're going to be better this year now that they've actually got a head coach.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to Denver Broncos. With Drew Lock not becoming a bust in his first season, there's a lot of hope in him, and with key players coming in this off season, but they have a tough schedule in the beginning of the year, and I think that's going to hurt them the most. But if they find their rhythm, like towards the mid to end of the season, they're gonna pretty much if they find their rhythm, they're pretty much gonna do really well.
Yeah.
It's either
I feel like I feel like the AFC East, no West, sorry, is going to turn into a new AFC East, where there's one really good team, the Chiefs, and then they're just gonna win that team's just gonna win every year.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move to Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, this is a playoff team this year, in my opinion, and they brought in a former Packers coach, and do not mention Andy Dalton. Not to mention Andy Dalton, they have weapons all around them, including arguably the best wide receiver in the draft with CeeDee Lamb, and with Dak Prescott, and all those players. I think this they've got no excuse not to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they held on to Jason Garrett for way too long. They're in the worst division. there should be no reason that they shouldn't. There's no reason they shouldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Now with the Detroit Lions, this team trusts Matthew Stafford and brings in DeAndre Swift, maybe the best running back in the whole draft, and a total steal. And when he was projected to go in the first round, late first round, but he gets picked up in the early second round. And I think they'll win 4 more games.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they'd be much worse than they were last year. Also, they'll have Matt Stafford back.
Yeah. So let's go to the Green Bay Packers. When the Packers drafted Jordan Love, I think they wanted to be like when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, but Brett Favre finished his career with someone that he knows he will take. He had to finish his career with someone he knew will take over for him, and this is the same case. But I still think they will. Rodgers will want to prove them wrong or prove them that he's the starter until he ends his career, and I think they'll win one more game with 14-2 record.
Okay, so one hypothesis is based off of research of what happened with Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers will play 2 or 3 more seasons, retire at the end of each one, then come back after each one, retire, get traded to a team in the AFC East, go into free agency, and then go to the Bears. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
In 4 or 5 years, he will be with the Bears.
So Houston Texans, with Bill O'Brien has ruined the Texans' playoff hopes, because he got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, probably the best, if not one of the best, if not the best wide receivers in the whole league. Although they have great players, they're not the same without DeAndre Hopkins.
Actually, D-Hop is the second best wide receiver in the game.
Yeah. I think they'll lose at least 2 games less than they did.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, Bill O'Brien, Deshaun Watson can't carry the whole team.
Yeah. Okay. Indianapolis Colts, you have a great team when you win with a backup quarterback, and what they did, and that's exactly what they did last year. They won 7 games with Jacoby Brissett, but now they have a starter with Phillip Rivers, and I think they'll have a year like the Titans. Well, the same record as the Titans last year with 9-7. And
the year before that. And the year before that.
And the year before that. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year might be the biggest what if. Because if Andrew hadn't retired, I think that they're a playoff team. I think that they have a chance a really weak AFC year.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 2 really good teams and then not much else. Sorry, Patriots fans. But yeah, I think they could have made a run.
Okay, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, this is a very interesting team. They had high hopes at the beginning of the season with Nick Foles. Then his injury happened in the 6th round, Then his injury happened in a 6th round. Quarterback came in for him and he's
massively outplayed him.
But I don't think Gardner Minshew is their solution, and he will just be a 2-14. They will be a 2-14 team this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be okay. They're the reigning Super Bowl champs, but can they hold the title is the question. and can they hold enough cap space after this season? But for now, they're going to try to make another Super Bowl appearance, and yeah, 2 more wins this year, at
Before they
least.
rearranged the Watkins,
Sammy
Watkins
Watkins.
thing, Sammy Watkins, before they rearranged that, they had less than $200 in cap space.
Yeah. Which that's just crazy. And obviously they made it work.
That's not even enough to like buy. I mean, it's enough to buy like one game of of an undrafted player.
Yeah. So Los Angeles Chargers. This team has some good players and a fifth overall quarterback from the draft, or sixth overall quarterback from the draft, plus a Tyrod Taylor. So they have the QB position figured out, but how can they find targets that are consistent other than Keenan Allen, which is the question. But I do think if this year works out, it'll be an 8-8 season.
Yeah, I think so.
Los Angeles Rams. So, what do you think about this team?
I think that they're gonna fall off. I don't think that they're very good. I don't think that they're very good. Most of the contributors are gone. Like Gurley's gone. The depth on the defense is gone. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that Super Bowl year is like a one and done with the team they have now. So let's go to Miami Dolphins. After watching Ryan Tannehill become a top 6 QB after trading him, they had a terrible season, but they had some key wins though, like the last week of the regular season versus the Patriots, and they had a decent draft. And when they drafted Tua Tagovailoa, but he won't fix all their problems for now, at least.
Yeah.
So Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings had a huge upset in the playoffs last season against the Saints, but lost to the runner-up of the San Francisco 49ers. Calvin Cook is going to have a huge prospect. I think he was rated like 5th out of all the running backs in the league last year.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they were better than 10-6. They were better than a 10-6.
Bye.
Bye. So the Minnesota Vikings, they're better than a 10-6 record, and so in 2020, I think they'll win 2 more. But the New England Patriots, so this team lost Tom Brady in free agency and gained Cam Newton, a former MVP, and I don't think they're gonna have as good as a season, but I think it's gonna be better than 8-8, which I put on here. I think it's gonna be like another 10-5 or 10-6 record, but we'll see. The New Orleans Saints, I think this is gonna be the same record. They're gonna have the same record this year as they did last. If I were a Saints fan, I'd be excited. They have the best wide receiver in the league, a future Hall of Fame quarterback, and a good young running back, and they're for sure a playoff contender this year. The New York Giants. So this is a different team compared to last year, but I think they're not a playoff contender yet. With Barkley and Daniel Jones, the future looks good. So 2 more wins this season. New York Jets. I'm not sure if last year showed their best quality of play, but I think they will win at least 2 more games, but I don't think anything past the 9-7 record. Could either be it's either a 9-7 or a 7-9 for me this year. Vegas Raiders. They're in an interesting situation after drafting Josh Jacobs last year. He became a top 15 running back. Unless Marcus Mariota or Derek Carr turns their career around, the Raiders are going to be in trouble. So once they figure out their quarterback situation, I think they're going to be a 6-10 season. Now the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is a good team and will be likely the same team this year as it was last year. If Carson Wentz gets hurt, it'll be the time to show what Jalen Hurts can do. Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, I think, will either have a winning season or a losing season, obviously, with Big Ben back. I think if Big Ben stays healthy, he will have a chance to make they'll have a chance to make the playoffs. But if he doesn't, they're doomed basically. So I think it's either a 10-6 season if he's healthy or a 6-10. But I don't think he's going to be healthy. So with the San Francisco 49ers, this is a questionable team because 2 years ago they didn't make it into the playoffs. But obviously last year they went to the Super Bowl, and so I don't think they'll have as good of a season this year, but I think they'll keep a winning record with 11-5 and make the playoffs. Now the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, which is, in my opinion, will be a Hall of Famer one day and will continue to lead his team to success like he has in the past, but they still need to find someone in their running back position. They signed Carlos Hyde and they have Chris Carson, but I don't think either of them will be like a top running back. So I think next year they will for sure need to draft someone or get someone out of free agency. But I still think they'll win one more game this season. Now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Bruce Arians has turned this team around dramatically with the signing of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to drafting Tristan Wirfs. I think Tampa Bay has had the best offseason in the whole NFL, and they will have a 11-5 record and make the playoffs. Not to mention the two Pro Bowler wide receivers. Tennessee Titans. After an outstanding playoff run that nobody predicted to happen, after beating the Super Bowl champs, the Patriots, and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, their confidence has grown dramatically. Tannehill, Henry, and A.J. Brown were voted best NFL trio in the league. And Mike Vrabel was voted the 10th best coach in the league, and yeah, I think they'll continue their winning streak at 10 but they'll have one more win this season at 10-6. Now the Washington Redskins. The Redskins have a very interesting team with a rookie who is the best in the draft, a good running back in Adrian Peterson. I think Chase Young will make a huge impact, but I don't think with the Redskins offense, I don't think they're gonna do very much, and they'll have the same team as they did last year. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notification buttons, and check out our website. The link is in the description below. Thank you.